All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today we've got the One Piece card game Pirates League, the official shop edition. This is the semifinals, San Francisco versus Cincinnati. We're both over here in California, so we got a little bit of bias. But Steven, how are you doing today?
I am doing good, Hayden, and I am super excited for some One Piece action. Like you said, this is the second semifinal match. We're figuring out today who's going to join Brooklyn in the finals on December 6th. Is it going to be San Francisco or is it going to be Cincinnati, Ohio?
Yeah, and not only do we have this close fight, but this is also the first weekend where OP13 is legal. They are able to update their deck list with these new cards, so I know a lot of people are excited to see these cards in action, and including the two of us. I know both of us have been talking a lot, getting ready for today and seeing what the deck list and everything's going to look like.
Oh yeah, this is what I love about specifically the Pirates League, is that it's a one tournament taken across several weeks. And so you have the ability to actually have differing formats within a single tournament. Super exciting to see. But y'all, without further ado, I believe the shops are ready for you guys to see round one of today's team fight.
Yeah, let's get on over there if we can. So if you guys are new to this, also as well, we can check out what these players are looking like. It looks like they're going to start off. It's going to be Emu versus Bonnie. Emu, the kind of premier new deck for this set. And Steven, why don't you talk about it?
Well, it is definitely one of the scariest decks I think we've ever seen in the One Piece card game. People thought Blue-Purple Luffy was the king of the late game. Unfortunately, no. That role now goes to Emu and his 5 elders. Basically, once 10 Dawn starts happening, the clock on the game begins.
Yeah, and it has like a lot of value. It's a 4-life monocolor leader, right? So that means that it has to have some kind of power for it. And yeah, it looks like Gavin's gotten some pretty good early cycle already.
Yep, and just so you guys know, we have Gavin up at the top representing Cincinnati, playing the Emu deck, and on the bottom we have Yuri for Life representing San Francisco, playing the Bonnie deck. And as much as I'm a big Bonnie stan, I've been playing her ever since OP07, I feel like the queen of the late game might have a bit of a struggle into this matchup.
Yeah, it's really difficult to outvalue there. And the first life getting another, the 5 elders are at your service. Looking at the top 3 for another Celestial Dragons, getting the Saturn there, definitely the one that you want.
Yeah, that one will just give you all the more search you need to make sure you have the consistency in hand of getting the 5 names in the grave. And it looks like we already have 2 of them. I believe we have the Venus and the Jupiter already down there.
Correct. And Bonnie's going to pass with a Toshigi, a pretty okay play here to be able to protect hopefully a Cavendish or something like that. On the next turn, we're just going to have a 5K from the Emu.
Oh, and I love seeing this from Gavin. Save all your effects, save all your drawing cards, save all your Dawn for after you begin attacking, so that way you don't give away any information to your opponent. Love that.
Yeah. And we're going to play out the St. Charlie looking top 3 for Celestial Dragon card, getting the It Never Happened, It Never Existed, and being able to get that to hand. Just the plus 4K event is really strong in this deck.
And we're using the leader ability there to get rid of that one-drop that we just used to get another cycle of a draw. This deck is just so consistent. It's crazy.
It is, and we have so much access to like cost reduction, right? We do have our stage here, being able to play something for 4 or less as long as we pay 3. So being able to get the Saturn there, get another search here to get, I believe that's a Mars. I think that's Mars.
Yeah, that was the removal one essentially.
Yes, yeah.
Now, it's really interesting to notice that the ability of this deck to kind of curve out is not really the biggest thing about it. The fact that these 5 elders really cost 1 cost less than what they're printed is not really the big deal. The fact that you can spam them on the board and make them really big threats that just can't be removed once you get a certain number of cards in trash is just so crazy.
Yeah, and we do end up playing the Cavendish. This is really good, especially since we already have the protection from the Toshigi in case they do. They just added the removal card right to hand, so Toshigi will be able to save the Cavendish if that ends up happening, and having 1 Dawn open for our Bonnie leader effect as well.
I always say Cavendish is everyone's favorite 3-drop.
Yes, it is.
Now, it is worth noting that the clock for Yuri for Life is maybe not as big as it would be for other decks because we do have that big defensive leader ability as Bonnie. But once again, if you're able to spam out the 10-drop 5 leaders and get 5 free cards that all become 7K once they're in play, that's a lot of attacks. And that's something that Bonnie's never loved, is a bunch of attacks.
Yeah, and we see Gavin, thinking for the first time for more than a second in this. We got 6 Dawn to work with. This is kind of like the weird in-between turns before we start doing our loops, and we know what our obvious plays are, but it looks like it's going to start with a 7K attack with the Emu leader.
Yeah, kind of like you said, Eggman. I think Gavin's recognizing that we're not going to be able to deal with this Cavendish this turn anyway, even if we use our Mars. So we probably should just save it and try to go for more damage if we can. So when we do play our 10 drop later on in the game, we can sort of shorten that clock that Yuri has access to.
Yeah, but we're going to play out the Marcus Mars here, being able to discard a card from her hand to KO something with cost of 5 or less base cost. So Tashigi falls into that. So it does save the Cavendish from that removal, but having a blocker out is great, and you still get some removal, which is nice.
And I think something always to keep track of too is I believe I think we're only missing the War Curry, are we not? In the trash there for Gavin?
I know we've seen Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. If you saw
Venus,
Venus,
yeah.
Juro, I believe you. But yeah, I don't
I
think
think
we see
he's hiding
the
right
top
there
one.
as the second from the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're just gonna play the 3-drop Bonnie. New card from the PRBO2, which came out last month. Pretty good at being able to get that Dawn active as well, and being able to be a blocker. A little bit easy removed in this deck, but still something to use our Dawn to get our 2 Dawn back with Cav.
Yeah, even though this card famously kind of gets rid of Bonnie's biggest problem of being unable to play on curve, it's probably not the best to play so hard into it because, like you said, it can be pretty easy to remove. But the fact that it can be essentially representing 2 stops of attacks is pretty huge.
Yeah, and considering what to do with the rest of the Dawn here, we do have 6 open. Technically, Bonnie can get the 3-drop Bonnie can get a Dawn back if it survives into a when attacking kind of trigger. But
Mm-hmm.
the decision here is, I guess, how big do we attack with our leader, and if we want to try to play something else this turn.
Looks like we're going to go for the 6K leader swing here. At this point, you probably only want to go for the face because attacking the characters doesn't really do too much for you, even though they can't be removed through other methods. Oh, but we're going to choose to
It's
target down the
it's
Saturn there. Okay.
Yeah, it's really tricky, and I think with Emu, the issue with it is that I never feel like there's 100% right play. The
Sure.
biggest thing is that we could leave this around, but then it could be buffed to a 7K next turn if we play the Jupiter there. So we have to be careful about that as well. And looks like we are gonna just play the 5-drop Bonnie now that we have the 8 cards rested for it.
And yeah, like it's like you're saying, Emu is known for being able to adapt to whatever their opponents are doing. It's like, hey, if you want to get rid of my characters, that's fine. I'll prioritize just playing more of them until I can survive long enough to actually just drop the 10 drop multiple times against you, or really the one time.
Yeah, and I think the other thing about this matchup too is that we do kind of get to defend the early aggression for it, but that's never been the issue. It's the late game aggression that Emu has, which is great. We have a lot of good 5 costs, which Emu is really good at removing 5 costs as well. So it's tricky to balance between being defensive but being able to push at least a little bit of damage with this deck.
I've always been a big fan of like trying to counter out of the attacks early against Emu because the first ones that are like 5, 7, 8, whatever. On the following turn it's probably going to be 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, and that's just like a lot harder for you to stop no matter what kind of deck you are. So I'm a big fan of countering early against this deck.
Yeah, and the other issue with that is like the Venus Juro, right? Being able to use that to prevent you from even it gives the -2K to something that you want to attack. It's for the turn. There's chances for other things to interact with it too. But looks like we end up using the Saint Saturn. I couldn't immediately tell what was got from the card,
It was giving War Curry to me. It was giving War Curry to me. I
Okay.
think that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't believe we've seen that one in rotation. We definitely haven't seen it hit the board quite yet. I know that Jupiter is in trash though. I'm not sure about Venus Juro right now either.
But on the next turn, that's when all the sparks will start flying for this Emu deck. People can see the power of being able to play five elders in a single go. Oh, and that
Yeah,
was the
so
Workery
I
there
think
being trashed. So
correct. Yeah, and we do get another Mars. So this time being able to get the Cavendish away is great. This is going to be tough. Emu's still at 3 life. We still have a lot of cards in hand on board. There's just a couple blockers from Bonnie, which can be very easily interacted with. This next turn's got to be kind of spectacular to try to get somewhere before they start doing their 5 Elder loop.
And it is helpful for us to remind everyone watching at home this is a team event. I believe both of these players have their teammates on their sides, sort of talking about the matchup as they're going. And this was something that I'm sure Yuri for Life is expected to play against, being it's the big boogeyman of OP13. So I'm really excited to see kind of how we adapt now that the game is getting a lot more serious towards the higher Dawn counts that both players are at.
Yeah, but Emu's just that kind of deck. Like you can know what happens, you can know what they do, but that doesn't mean you know what you can do against them, right? It just has so much
Right.
value. So it's such an intricate deck that it's really tough to combat at times.
At the end of the day, you really just got to play your game and find some way to match their ability to pressure in the late game because you can't stop them from going there. Especially if you're deck like Bonnie, which can't, super aggro in the early turns.
Yeah. All
Just a
right, looks
simple
like we're going
counter out here from
2K.
the attack. Yeah. Ooh, and that
Oh.
is a pretty powerful late game card if I've ever seen one. The 9-drop Zoro from OP06. Every time this card comes down, I'm just like, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, it's a fantastic card for this spot right here. Two quick things: Emu doesn't really have a great way to remove or interact with this card. The other thing is that this thing can attack 3 times in a turn, which generally speaking, Emu likes to have 2 blockers up, so it eats up a lot of attacks in most turns. But Zoro being able to eat 2 of them and then get a third attack in is pretty huge for this situation.
And it's looking like from Gavin, we're just going to do a boosted attack with the Saturn here, swinging for 6. That will trigger our Bonnie abilities to give us the extra Dawn, which is kind of huge. There's a world that if we had the 10-drop, we could have maybe shotgunned it to get rid of that, but you're going to lose 3 attacks just to save 1 attack. It's probably not worth it. So we're just going to choose to, play into it, give him the extra Dawn. I respect that.
Yeah, and there's still just going to be a lot of attacks coming through. I think we got to use the Dawn eventually in this spot because we're gonna if they have the 5 elders in hand, there's gonna be a lot of 5 elders on the board afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, I could have missaw the trash earlier, and we don't have all 5 already in there, but I believe we do. So it's going to be probably fireworks here in just a moment once these attacks go through.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have at least 4. Also, when you play the 5 elders, you discard 1. If you have an extra 1 hand, you can use your leader effect as well. But it looks like we're just going to use the leader effect for the Saint Saturn to get a draw 1.
Gonna lose it anyway, probably. So may as well get the value out of it now if we can. Maybe dig for other stuff if we're thinking of a different play to play on this turn.
But we're actually going to play Stussy. So I may have misspoke here. Normally, we do not have a lot of ways. Stussy is a way, but it did kind of forfeit the ability to, use your 5 elders effect right now. So it's likely a good trade for this one, but likely not what our Bonnie player was thinking was going to happen to that Zoro.
Yes, there are no 5 elders cards that can answer a 9-drop Zoro, but there are plenty of Navy cards that can do it.
Correct. Or Cypher Pole, yes.
Cypher Pole, excuse me. They sometimes work for the Navy. Depends on how they're feeling that day.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go big 5. So Emu has no Dawn open, and they do have 1 blocker. Which we're gonna get the block there. And
I was gonna say
second Zoro.
I was gonna say this motion from Yuri was giving. I've got another Zoro in hand.
Yeah, most of the time when I see 2, I'm pretty upset, but this is one of the rare times where I'm like, you know what? This is fantastic. They spent their entire turn where they could have been using 5 elders to instead just get rid of a card that I was going to play again next turn anyways.
Yeah, because obviously, usually, if you ever need to actually have 2 of them on the board at one time, what kind of game of One Piece are you playing? That's probably one of the craziest games I've ever seen. But we're just going to start off with the raw Stussy swing here.
Yeah, we definitely. I think we need to use our leader ability.
They were attacking the character Bonnie. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I'm surprised they didn't use their leader ability since they will be able to 5 elders and attack, but you can attack with Emu first beforehand. So that might have lost out on kind of the usage from the Bonnie leader effect.
And on the first turn you play 5 elders, there's only 1 attack actually that comes out because only Venus has the rush. So yeah, you're totally right. We're missing out on value from our leader. Not that much, but value nonetheless.
Yeah, when they're adding 5 cards to the board per turn, it is a little impactful. So we're just going to go with 7. We're going to take it real quick.
Is this going to be a? Oh,
yeah.
There it is. There it is. We're going with the whole board. Here comes the 10-drop, and we do got all 5 in there. There's the Valkyrie, there's the Saturn, there's the Mars, there's the Venus. It was in there, and then there's Jupiter coming down.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what this card does, you will probably on your first locals, but in case not, activate main if your leader's Emu. You may rest 1 of your Dawn cards and trash 1 card from your hand. Trash all of your characters. Play up to 5 Elder type characters with 5k power and different names from your trash, and that's exactly what happened.
We call this in the business profit.
Yes, and there's a lot of additional things going on. We get to draw one off the top five from Saturn. Everything has plus 2K. We've got two blockers. We can get rid of the Bonnie if we want to by discarding a card off Mars. And then you guys can probably tell you can just do this again next turn as long as you have another 5 Elders 10 drop in hand too.
Yep, and for those that don't know, I know we haven't mentioned it that much because in this matchup it's not the biggest deal in the world, but all the 5 Elders cards have abilities that are essentially unlocked once you have a certain number of cards in trash. Mars and Workery both become blockers. I believe Venus gains Rush, and then Jupiter, I believe, only won't be removed from effects, and then Saturn won't be removed from effects either. But they all say can't be removed by effects, and then only certain ones gain keywords.
Yeah, so when you look at them, they're like, oh, these are kind of unassuming cards, right? They only have 5K power, but with the synergy with themselves is really great. Not being able to be removed from effects is very obnoxious at times. Bonnie's not the one of the decks that relies on removal, but it is tough to interact with these cards at times.
Now, all that being said, we just did a lot over there as Gavin, but we're still representing a lot of pressure as Yuri for life here because Gavin had the big heads up play to not attack with the Venus, even though it did have Rush, because we don't want to play into the leader ability then. So we kind of did get the leader value by kind of forcing Gavin to not attack and risk losing 2 of their 5 Elders by being attacked into. But now we just have three 9K swings minimum with this Zoro, and that's representing a lot here.
Yeah, I think the other thing to note is that if we attack with the Zoro all 3 times, it ends rested, and so we can give it the minus 2K with the Venus Juro, which we can't really interact with right now, and then we can play a second one, and then it's a 5K, and then what are you supposed to do about that?
Yeah, so Gavin's kind of forcing Yuri's hand and being like, you only get 2 attacks with the Zoro rather than the full 3. But Yuri might just go like, hey, if you want to attack into a 9K guy that becomes a 7K guy rather than my face, I say go for it.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like, you lost 2 blockers, and these are blockers that would attack next turn anyways if they were still around, but this is exactly the spot where Emu's in such a good spot because we have blockers, we have card draw, we are not really missing out on any value. We will do the third attack, though, with Zoro here.
I respect the violence. I respect it.
Down to 1.
It is also worth noting, too, that we did discard for the cost of our 10 drop, another 10 drop, which is giving me the read that there's another big costed card in Gavin's hand. Could be another Stussy, could be another 10 drop that we're kind of thinking about playing. And oh, here comes 3 Jewelry Bonnies from PRBO2 coming down.
Yeah, I mean, these are okay blockers, right? The fact that we will be able to get our Dom back, very likely. I don't think they're going to be able to remove them before an attack trigger, so that's fine. But still, not maybe the card we were hoping for.
But we are going to use the Venus as our first attack to guarantee that -2 when attacking ability. We will get our 2 Don back as Yuri. And what I like about these blockers they're basically like the ultimate protection for our Zoro. Because even though he's 7K, we are going to be able to blink 2 attacks with those blockers and 1 more attack with our leader ability this turn. And so even if a 10 drop does come down, what's the scariest thing that's going to happen? 1 more 7K attack because Jupiter will bump everything up? That might not be the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, so thinking about if we're using a leader effect, it really depends if you want to. I mean, they're at 1 life, so if you feel like you can be confident and use your leader effect to either prevent a Venus Juro attack or rest a blocker when they do, that could make a big difference.
And the big punish could obviously be, we saw they're playing Stussy. How many copies are they playing? If I do spend all my resources trying to protect this Zoro just to get it removed anyway, is that the best play I should go for as Yuri? That's a thing we kind of probably got to keep in mind if we're them.
Yeah, and I don't know if I was Bonnie, if they dropped Stussy on me, I'd be kind of happy because they will have no blockers. Most on they'll have up is 1, and there could be a route for me to go for game. But yeah, going into life and taking it going down to 1 life for Bonnie.
I mean, we do trust in Hody Jones in this house. I'll tell you that much. If we're playing a green deck, Hody Jones is always creeping around the corner.
Yeah, and now that we have, Dead Man's Game as well as like our event, Hody Jones, green can really interact and still be a really good finisher for Emu, right? They have blockers. They like to keep Dawn open for their it never existed, which I don't think we've resolved one of those copies of that card yet. So that could be a big difference.
Also, if I'm reading this board texture right, does Emu or Gavin only have 2 cards in hand? Is that correct?
I believe so, but that doesn't seem immediately right for me. But that could just be. I think there's more. I think it's just the top down angle.
I mean, I think we did counter a little bit in the early game. But yeah, I think we should have at least 4 or 5 maybe. But yeah, okay, I'm seeing a lot more cards there. That's good.
Yeah.
I was like, for a second, I was like, oh, are we in team? Are we in with the Zoro comeback? No.
All right, considering what to use the rest of the Dawn, even though the stage is tapped, they have not used the stage ability yet, so they can still
No, not this turn.
play something for 3. Yeah, not this turn. All right, and again, I'm going to assume that Zoro is currently a 7K. All of our bodies here are currently 7K for Emu, so we're going to go 7 into somewhere.
I mean, if you saw that Yuri is taking
Zoro,
life this turn, yeah, going for the leader swing might be pretty tantalizing.
Yeah, I think the thing is that Gavin it's unlikely that they're able to win this turn, but they want to be in a position where they can do a very easy push for lethal next turn. So being able to do that, but also you got to be worried about 9-cost Zoro because he is very difficult to interact with too. So it is quite the decision.
And like, even though if you do have like another 10 drop 5 elders in hand, that does give you a lot of blockers. Green has never cared about blockers since the history of time. I'm just gonna arrest those boys and attack you 3 times as Zoro anyway. So
yeah,
it's gonna be pretty interesting here. This end game. I think it might. I think we're attacking Zoro. That makes the most sense to me. We are going to use the leader ability here, the tap. No, we're actually going at the face. It looks like I saw Yuri gesture towards their life.
Yeah, so I think we're going to tap it, and then we're going to take the last card in life, and then play a nasty game of try to defend Zoro with these jewelry bonnies. So the other thing too that doesn't come up as much, but the number of attacks you have per turn is actually pretty impactful. So even if these bonnies are just 3Ks, being able to prevent potentially put 4 Dawn attack 7K does end up being pretty important as well.
Right, because if there's one thing Emu maybe isn't the best at doing, it's like they can sculpt their hand, but usually they want to sculpt their hand to like pull off a big combo, not to like sculpt for defense necessarily. So there could be a world where like a single 5K swing eats up a 2K, and that's like super great value if you're trying to go for an end game.
We're doing the 5 elders once again, being able to get all 5 of them once we find the 5th one. Also, I don't think we've mentioned it. On your turn, if you have 19 or more cards in your trash, Inu does become a 6K leader. I believe at this point in the game we're probably there. Being able to get the rest on it before it became a 9K is really good. And yeah, we got a World Equilibrium event. Emu has so much defensive counter just floating in their deck too. It's a bit outrageous.
Yeah, usually when you get to this stage where they could just play the 10 drop for the discount while representing like 2 or 3 active Dawn just for the 4K defense is insane. We are going to go for another Venus here. We're just going to go ahead and eat that block up, no problem.
Yeah, and we did we kept 4 Dawn open. We've got 2 blockers up right now and a good amount of cards in hand. So I think we should have at least 2 defensive events based on what we've seen earlier. I think there's like 5-ish cards in hand for Emu, maybe 6, but even if we rest these blockers, it's not home free quite yet.
Well, there's the Hody Jones. This is usually how green endgames start, and we're going to go with the 5K attack into the leader, it looks like. We're going to counter out.
Yeah, we're going to go Hody for 8. We are going to get a Never Existed to get out of that. We're going to use the Zoro effect to go 9. All right, we're going to go 9 one more time.
Okay, it might be go time.
I think it is go time. We got one more attack after this one, so we got to get out of 2 9K attacks. So World Equilibrium for 1 and a defensive event here.
That's the GARP event, I believe. Yeah, to add back a 2K. Oh my goodness, 3 cards in hand. Is it enough to stop another 9?
Yeah, one more 9 and spend the 2. One last 9. Not quite.
All we have is 9 exactly, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 2K 1K. So Zoro able to be the hero we needed, able to get there with the Hody Jones, and San Francisco's up 1-0 with the Bonnie.
You know what? We were talking all this stuff about Emu's advantage and defense in the late game. It turns out the best defense is a good offense.
Yes,
with the power of Zoro.
And I will say that, Bonnie doesn't have a lot of consistency cards, so being able to see 2 9-drop Zoros, even though the first one got answered, very strong. You did also put them off from one of their 10-drop loop turns because they did, have to play the 9-drop Sussy for that too. So, when you get to that late game, I think it's really important. And I think Bonnie played it very, very well.
Nice. And this does give San Francisco one up against Cincinnati in the semifinals. They need to win one more to claim that second final spot for December 6th. But don't worry, team. Even if they do get the clean sweep, we will show you the game 3 no matter what for the sake of the show, which is going to be super awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to go to game 2 in a minute. We're going to take a tiny break to get that set up. But the second game is going to be Ace versus Zoro. So 2 other Titans, I think, of this format. We're going to see what that looks like. And we'll see you guys in game number 2.
Welcome back, Grand Line fans, to the One Piece Pirates League official shop edition. My name is Steven. Some people know me as the True Champion Steven, and I'm joined by the Eggman to bring y'all round 2.
Yeah, we saw a really close round 1. We did see Bonnie take it with the help of Zoro and Hody Jones. And Steven, who we got for round number 2?
Ooh, we have got, I believe, Blue Kool-Aid Man piloting Zoro versus, I believe, DJ from Cincinnati piloting Red Blue Ace. We have the Scourge of OP12 versus the new kid from OP13.
Yeah, and we've been seeing, a lot of strength from Zoro in the OP12 format that is just wrapping up. Ace has been a fan favorite not only in this card game but in the lore itself. So this is, probably the strongest leader he's ever had to date, and I know a lot of people are excited to use him.
Yep, and I really love how that first ability kind of harkens back to the original Ace we had way back at the beginning of the One Piece card game, where you can discard event cards from your hand to increase your defensive power. You could basically do that with any card now in your hand, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and this is the first weekend of OP13. If you guys are new to this card game too, it's an anniversary set. Usually they like to do a little bit of extra flair for this one. I think the theming for this set's really cool. And the biggest thing that you'll notice is all the leaders, I think, in this just have different ways to increase their power past 5K, or just like default past 5K. We have a 6K Ace here. We've got a 7K leader for the first time with Goldie Roger. Just a lot of unique leaders and archetypes that came out of OP13.
Yeah, and that's just beautiful to see, and I cannot wait to watch this matchup. Now, normally the king of aggro, being Zoro, whenever they see a 3-life leader, they go, oh, it's time for some good eats. But this one might be a bit more defensive than ones they're used to playing against.
Yeah, for sure. So one, I will just go over Ace real quick in case you guys haven't seen him, but he's a pretty unique leader when it comes to the statting for this one. So he is a 6K leader. He's got 3 life. He's red and blue. He has, on your opponent's attack once per turn, you can trash 1 card from your hand to give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 2K power for this battle. So it turns any card in your hand into a 2K. And then also, if you have a Dawn attached to him once per turn on either player's turn, when you take damage or your character with 6K Ace power or more is KO'd, you get to draw a card. So if you take damage, essentially it turns into a draw 2, not a draw 1.
And this matches up really interesting into Zoro that kind of needs to get the most amount of its value by attacking the opponent's characters. Basically, every time you do that on a big character, you're going to give Ace more draws. That'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, we do have a new card from this from the previous set, PRBO2, the Marco, which on KO draws 2 cards. So if Zoro KOs it, that's 3 cards that Ace gets to draw, which is pretty unheard of for drawing in this game.
But it's looking like the game is beginning. We have Blue Kool-Aid Man representing San Fran going first, and we're going to start off with a good old 1-drop.
Yeah, that is Hiyori there, being able to spend 1 to look top 5 for a green slash character, a green event. So likely going to do that next turn. But we got Garp on the other side. What a good searcher this Garp is.
I know you're a big Whitebeard Pirates fan. Maybe not a Ace fan, more of a Marco enjoyer, if I remember correctly. But this card is just lovely to see for the Ace deck specifically.
Yeah, so it looks up top 4 for anything that costs 3 or more. We did get the I Am Whitebeard, which is kind of one card of the 2-card combo for this deck. So once we get to 8, we're really going to be able to get a 10-drop out.
Oh, and there we see DJ putting on his red nose. I believe DJ was the buggy player that we got to feature during one of the, I think, quarterfinals matches. Really awesome to see them still representing the blue color, albeit with a bit of a spicier version.
Yeah, it's tough to support Buggy in this set. I don't blame him for switching to Ace, especially because Ace is, I think, the best blue leader right now. So no shame in that one. But we do have our first attack here with Zoro going to be a 7K into Ace. We can just discard 1, to give it the -2 and get out of that.
Yep. Basically turning that Jozu from a 1K counter into a 2. Actually, I believe Jozu has no counter. So turning that from a no counter into a free 2K is just beautiful to see.
He is a 1K, but yeah, he goes
1K,
he
great.
goes to give -2K. Yeah. All right, we've got the 4 here. So here's like the weird turn though. We can play Marco for 4, but we won't be able to put a Dawn onto our Ace. So it does mean that we can get a blocker, but we won't get the the superb draw 3 if we do that.
I mean, I think DJ's like, yeah, I'll still draw 2. That's good enough for me.
All right, so we're going to 5 here. Probably card to play is Tashigi from Zoro if we end up having it.
I mean, that's definitely what you want to be doing on this curve going first. And there it is, the 5-drop Tashigi going to be resting a character and then attaching 3 Dawn to our leader. Going to have that AK swing. Is it going at the, well, we don't have the Dawn minus right now, so we're only going to get the draw 2 like Eggman mentioned, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we don't have a Dawn attached, so we don't get the draw, but we still can use our on opponent's attack to give them -2 to get out of this, or help get
That's
out of
that,
this.
yeah, exactly. Because I don't think we're quite ready to start taking damage yet as DJ here, because our life kind of is a pretty big commodity. Because basically
Yes.
every life is really 2 cards, and so if you can spend like 1 or 2 cards now to take an even bigger attack later, but still draw out of it, like the ace countering math can be a little tricky sometimes. And was that the 1-drop Whitebeard blocker I saw coming down as a counter there with the other Jozu? That's the 2K that I was thinking of as well.
Yeah. I think it was the 1-drop Vista blocker. So blockers are pretty good against, I think, most decks. Zoro's not always one of them, though, because it doesn't really care about the first blocker that you have. But looks like we're going to pay 5, and it's going to be the Yamato. This card is one of my favorites in the set. It gets so much value.
Yeah, being able to just, if you have 3 or less cards, draw 2 and then give 1 of your Dawn to your leader, activates our leader ability. It's automatically triggered because we're ace and we always have 3. It's beautiful to see.
Every time I read this card, I have to double read it because I'm like, oh, draw 2, discard 1, right? Nuh-uh. Discard,
Nope.
draw 2, attach 1. So, so much value for a 5-drop 6K. That also has 1K counter. Like it's great.
Yeah, honestly, if ace gets like their normal curve of cards going second, I'm pretty sure you can draw like 12 cards in a given game, just outside of your
Yes.
normal drawing, which is kind of insane. It almost feels like being three life is no big deal, because the 2 cards you would have drawn off of being a 5-life leader and taking those extra hits might not matter.
Yeah, I'll never get a confirmation for this, but I think it's also kind of an homage to like the original Whitebeard leader. So it has
Yeah.
6 life, and in this one you can draw 6 times off taking damage, right? So it's kind of a bit of a similarity to that one. So I'm always going to think that they did that on purpose. I don't know if it was just a coincidence or not, though.
Oh, you know it was talked about. It's like, well, what does Ace have to do? He has to be like Whitebeard, right?
Yes,
Speaking of Ace, there we
definitely.
see the Vanilla Ace coming down. That's another 2K. I believe it's just a regular 2K, so we're probably just using that to counter out of the Tashiki attack instead of using our leader ability. And there we see the new 6-drop Law. This is a pretty fun inclusion for this deck, being able to recycle characters like the Tashigi here.
Yeah, this is, the new add to this deck. Zoro didn't get any, quote unquote direct support, but Law being a slash light type character is already really good. Being able to replay the Toshigi essentially, so you get to attach 3 Dawn to your leader. You do get blocker, but only if you're 1 life or less. But this is going to be a huge attack. This is going to be 9K into either the Yamato or the Ace leader.
Either way, we're drawing a card as DJ, which is pretty fun to think about because we do have our leader ability active with that Dawn underneath. So it's going to be interesting to see what DJ cares about here. Do we go -2 in theory, or do we just go +2 instead? Always interesting. It really depends on
Yeah,
like the kinds of pushes that he wants to go to. I believe we're going to 7. No, I think we're going to 8 next turn as DJ, right? Because we went second.
Yeah, we are going to go 8. So we did get rid of 1 copy of I Am Whitebeard in hand. I'm going to almost guarantee there's another one. You want to play this on 8. And we only have 4 cards right now. So this is going into life. We're going to take a damage, and then we are going to get a draw 1 off that. So we get to go to 6 cards and now 7 due to start of turn.
Mm-hmm. It is worth noting that all of our draw effects are once per turn. So DJ is probably thinking, well, I know there's going to be another attack coming, and I want to draw on that one because the cards in my hand right now are maybe not the best. So I'm going to choose to counter now and get better cards later. I respect that.
Yeah.
Also, we know that it was attacking Yamato.
Yes. Yeah. Because once you're able to save the Yamato, then you know that they can only attack your leader. Yeah.
All right, here's the turn. We're going to see the I Am Whitebeard event that you want to play now.
All right, starting with the regular leader attack. Yeah, actually going to go into Zoro here since it's a 6K. So just going to we 1K'd out of that attack. I'm not sure what was going on. Right, because it couldn't have been to Shigi. Okay, they fixed it. There are judges there, so they just confirmed. Yeah, they did an extra 1K, I think, off that first attack with the Cavendish there, and then they did take the second attack from Yamato.
Beautiful. But there is that big 8-drop event. I Am Whitebeard. This card's crazy because we have a Whitebeard's Pirate leader. We can play any Edward Newgate from our hand, and then we can add 1 card from the top or bottom of our life cards to our hand. And if you do, we can add +2,000 until the end of our opponent's next turn. I don't believe we're going to do that second part here because all we want to do is play this big. I want to say that's the new Whitebeard from OP13, but I could be incorrect.
Yeah, it is the OP13 one. So it is a
Okay.
blocker, and then on play, you get to draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand. Then give your leader and up to one of your characters to Rested Dawn. So, or no, sorry, this might be the other one. You are right.
Yeah,
Probably.
I think that's OPO8 Whitebeard, just the alternate art version of the card that's kind of like looking to the side. The glare was kind of tricking me a little bit.
Yeah, they both honestly, if you look at both alt arts, they are. I guess it depends on which way they're facing, which is
I
difficult
know
with a
for sure
mirrored
it's not
camera.
Ninebeard because Ninebeard is not 10 cost.
Yes, so you were correct. So it is the 10
Okay.
drop. So if your leader type includes Whitebeard Pirates and you have 2 or less life cards, select all of your opponent's cards in their field. Characters until the end of your opponent's next turn. None of the selected cards can attack unless your opponent trashes 2 cards from their hand whenever they do attack.
And this matches up way better into the Zoro deck specifically because Zoro just wants to attack as many times as possible, and so now it's going to cost them a lot in order to do that.
Yeah, so it's only characters though. So Tashigi and Law, the ones
Yes.
affected. Your Zoro leader will still be swinging, but still being able to get some defense here is still preferred.
And I don't think I saw how many cards Kool-Aid Man had in their hand, but I don't think it's enough to warrant being able to attack with any of these characters. So we're probably just going to see a lot of leader violence this turn from them.
Yeah, I mean, Zoro is like such a fun deck, in the fact that you're like, worst case, attaching Dawn to your leader is never bad. You're always going to get a lot of pressure. We're putting 5 Dawn on here, so this is going to be a 10K from Zoro, and leaving 3 open for some potential additional cards.
Yep, we're representing a lot of things here. Definitely things DJ needs to take into account. We're just going to go ahead and have that Yamato get taken out. We don't have our leader ability active because we don't have any Dawn attached to our leader. We probably wanted to see the OP13 10 beard versus the one that we did end up playing, but DJ still has a giant 10 drop that he played for 8. I'm sure he's not complaining that much.
Yeah, it's still not terrible, but we kind of quote unquote have missed out on 2 opportunities to get an extra draw 1, and we're still going to be attacking with the Luffy will be King of the Pirates, and going down to 0. This is quite scary here.
Ugh. Yeah, that loses out on 2 extra cards that we could have gotten, as well as what stops Kool-Aid Man from just doing it again next turn. As we know, Zoro doesn't care about blockers that much, at least not the first blocker anyway. So this could be pretty tough here if you're DJ, because the one thing Ace kind of has to do is it needs to put all of its Dawn into its characters. It can't really afford to leave up defense in the form of event cards, besides like maybe the random Rad Beam here and there. So the defense might be tough on DJ's end at this point because of how much pressure Kool-Aid Man is representing.
Yeah, and you can see he's shaking his head, and it's so peculiar, right? You draw so much in this deck, right? You're like, oh, I will see my pieces, but you also get a little greedy with your deck construction because you can turn any card into a 2K, and sometimes those cards don't come in the right order that you're hoping.
Yeah, and sometimes you can get a little overzealous with your curve. I know DJ had I Am Whitebeard on 8. He's like, oh, play it 10 drop, it's great. But now you have no leader ability to draw extra cards. Your characters are going to be attacked into all this stuff. So I think maybe if we do end up playing the 10 beard, it might have been better on the last turn to just not attack with the Yamato and deny, like, quote unquote, one more swing, if that makes sense. Or
Yeah,
force out more cards from Kool-Aid Man in order to rest that Yamato and then thus have a weaker leader swing rather than 3 10Ks in a row, against our 6K.
for sure. And we play Yamato again, so that does get a draw too. But sincerely, we kind of need to find a Marco here, and if we don't, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we need as many blockers as possible. And even then, we still probably need to counter out of some pretty big swings.
Yeah, this is looking pretty tough here. So, we do have one. The fact that they didn't attack means that Tashigi and Law are hard to interact with. We're going to use Garp again. Look top 4 for anything with a cost of 3 or more.
This could be that Marco, but then we would have to rest all of our Dawn. And I believe that is Marco.
Yep.
Yeah, the glare was kind of hiding him again, but I know that face anywhere. That big blue
Yeah.
phoenix anywhere.
He's really nice to have, but in this spot it might not be enough. So we're gonna go 7K into leader here, with our ace.
And the fact that Kool-Aid Man has like so much life is crazy. Like we can just start like getting our own pluses here as them.
Yeah, we're going with our big new gate attack. Yeah, that one. If we didn't get out of a 7K, we wouldn't get out of this one. Last 4 Dawn, I'm going to guess it's Marco and hope they don't have a Dead Man's Game because that will likely be it if they do.
Because then we can just throw all of our Dawn on our leader and just do a gigantic swing if we have to. And we still have 2 more character attacks afterwards that could still hit because I believe Tashigi's base 7, so more than enough to hit through.
Yeah, Law's a 6K, Tashigi's a 7K, and then leader. It's going to be pretty tough. You really want this Marco to be able to, draw some cards.
Yeah, take you all the way if it can. And remember, team, San Francisco's up 1 game, so if Kool-Aid Man can close it out on this turn, that is it for this semifinals. They'll be going to the finals.
Ooh, okay. It's not Dead Man's Game, but honestly, it's better in this spot.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
This is actually, insane here. So this will attach 3 Dawn to our leader. It's going to rest a 4 or less. And we can see that this is going to be so much pressure. Like, you rested that Marco for 1 Dawn, essentially.
I mean, we can swing 12 with Zoro pretty confidently. Oh, no. Wait, we have 6 Dawn left? Yeah, so never mind. We could do 10 again pretty confidently.
Yeah, we're just going to start with a big old 6. A 2K from Jozu already. That's some good knowledge there.
Yep. I don't know how many cards we had in DJ's hand, but I think it was like at least 5. I want to say. We're going to swing 8 with the Shigi here, so now we're representing potentially 3 swings with our Zoro at 10K. One of them has to be out of character.
Yeah, and bumping the fist, it looks like not even being able to get out of this 8K attack. And as mentioned, Blue Kool-Aid Man is able to get the second win from San Francisco, and they'll be in the finals in the first weekend of December.
Green coming up. I know we have some green screens behind us right now. Those are taking down the day with Bonnie and Zoro here.
Yeah, I mean, I said that, we're both in California right now. No bias towards San Francisco, but I guess our green screens were maybe not so unbiased in that case.
Just a little Easter egg, I guess, for the people watching at home. But with that, like we're saying, San Francisco does take it. They will be going to the finals, but that does not mean our stream today is over. We are going to have that final round for y'all to see, and I think it's going to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, we're going to have Cincinnati on Zoro themselves, and then we're going to have San Francisco on the new Sabo leader, one of the new leaders from OP13. It's got a lot of interesting interactions, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it does into Zoro.
Yeah, I was a really big fan of the original Red Black Sabo way back from, I believe, OP04. And now with the brand new Rev Army cards that we've had since then and the power of the 8-drop Monkey D Dragon, I cannot wait to see that deck show up and show out.
Yeah, so that's going to be our 3rd and final game for us today. Congratulations to San Francisco for getting the win this weekend as well. We'll see if they get the clean sweep, and we'll see you guys in game number 3. All right, we are back for our third and final game for the semifinals for the One Piece card game Pirates League official shop edition. And Steven, what's our third and final game?
Well, like you said, we have Red Black Sabo from OP13 facing Green Zoro. But this time, Green Zoro is helping out Cincinnati to maybe get some redemption in this final round. They're like, you know what? Green's doing so good. I guess we got to use it this time.
Yeah, and there's going to be a clean sweep one way or the other. Either San Francisco goes 3-0 or Green Decks go 3-0 between the either. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But we've got Jake from Cincinnati on the Green Zoro, and we've got Will from San Francisco with the Red and Black Sabo leader.
And if you've not seen this Red and Black Sabo leader yet, it's actually a really cool card. It is a 5 health dual color leader being red and black, but it has a effect that says if you ever have 4 or more life cards, it gets minus 1,000 power, meaning it's a 4K leader until you have 3 life. And then Dawn X1, if you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, your leader and all your characters get power plus 1,000. So this is another deck that kind of messes with power, a big theme of the Carrying On His Will set. And we're starting off strong here, going second here, playing the Koala to get some searching for some Rev Army cards.
Yeah, and we end up getting the HQ, another fantastic card. It just says discard 1, look top 3 for a Revolution Army. And when the majority of your deck's there, just being able to get that consistent search every turn is huge.
I mean, if Germa is a really good stage, Army HQ has to be a really good stage too.
Yes. And we do have some opportunities to play cards from trash as well. So keeping cards in there, having an easy way to get cards in there, great as well. And one of them is this 8-drop dragon we just got off the HQ.
This is a really sweet card from OP12. I can't wait to see it show up and show out. We're going to need a bit more cards in trash, though, before it can get a lot of value.
Yeah, but we've got 2 Revolution Army cards. We need one more for the effect, and then kind of a fourth card that we'd want to revive from it. But
exactly,
honestly, I think probably ideal start from Sabo here.
Yeah, and something I love about the Sabo deck, hopefully we get to see it kind of, is you play as many Sabos as possible. Like, you're going to see there's so many different Sabos in this deck, and they're all pretty fun. But here we see the Zoro playing down the Perona, going to go get some slash-type cards. I'm not quite sure which one that was. I think the glare was hiding it from me.
Yeah, it was an alt-art glare. It might have been Shanks.
Oh, the new 10-drop Shanks, question mark? Or
it might have been
film one?
It might have been the new 10-drop. I think it's the new 10-drop. I think both are film.
The one from the starter deck.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's the new one from OP13 was what it was.
Copy.
We're going to play Koshiro. We're going to pass back. Going to be able to defend our protect our 5 cost or less slash characters. And Sabo's on 4 Dawn.
Definitely just want to spend these first few turns as Will, building that trash, building your hand so that we can go like 6-drop, 8-drop, 8-drop. 10-drop,
Yeah.
There could be a world where we're playing like some really cool removal tools like Stussy. There could be a world where we're playing like Goldie Roger, because we are a red deck, and Goldie Roger in this format is pretty good, specifically against the Emu decks, because they love going on low life and just using their blockers to survive. Slash, if they put you on low life and they need their blockers, you can kind of win the game that way too.
Yeah, and here's that 6-drop blocker. So being able to play that next turn is going to be pretty huge. Essentially, it enables our leader effect all by itself. We're going to play out the hack here. We won't be able to attack with leader because we are still a 4K right now, since we have 4 or more life. And I think we're going to pass it back to Jake.
But on the next turn, we're going to be able to really start getting the value out of this, because now we can start throwing Dawn on the Sabo to go ahead and just make everybody stronger, because that hack is already an 8-cost card.
The other nice thing about this hack is that, if your opponent has Revolution Army type as their type, you can KO one of your opponent's characters, the base cost of 4 or less. So this can get rid of the Koshiro if you decide what to block with it, or if they end up, using Tashigi to rest it so you can't, they have to attack into it. But looks like for 5, it is going to be, the Cavendish, kind of the backup 5 cost.
That might have been the card that we had showcased from the Perona there.
And looks
And
like
then we
we're
have
just going to go
7K coming down here.
Yeah, we don't have the 3 Dawn, so this is going to be the only attack from the Zoro here. And yeah, I think getting the block here makes sense. We're going to be able to get rid of the Kyoshiro as well. And,
especially
likely going to be the end for Jake.
Yeah, maybe Jake could have sequenced that a bit better to maybe not use our Dawn before we swung, but you really wanted to get the value out of Cavendish. And so you kind of showed your hand there of well, I'm not doing anything else this turn. So now Will can just safely get rid of that blocker, safely get rid of that protection. And maybe now we can get rid of the Cavendish on our turn with some powerful removal tools.
Yeah, so we do have some options for that. We'll see what Will ends up using. We're going to discard the Betty here to, again, look top 3. So discarding a Searcher for a search, that's not too bad.
Although
right,
being
really
on
thinking
6,
on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if we're not playing something like one of the 6-drop Sabos that we already have in turn, what else are we looking for? It looks like that's another dragon. That's pretty good. We have plenty of cool targets in the trash already.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to play the 6 here, and it's going to be the new Secret Rare Sabo. Again, this really just ties the whole deck together, and it's what you really kind of need to see on curve here. So real quick, I'll read it out. It has blocker, and then activate main once per turn. Up to one of your characters gets +2 costs until the end of your opponent's next turn. Then give up one of your rested Dawn to your leader. So he becomes a blocker. He has 8 costs, and he gives the Dawn to your leader. So the leader sees that it's, there's an 8 cost out there. You get the Dawn attached to it. So currently it's a 5K because you're 4 life leader, but it was attacking for 6K.
Yep, and it's still currently 5K during Jake's turn. But if we take 1 more damage and going to 3 life, it'll now become a 6K leader.
Yeah, and the other thing is that it affects all of your characters too. So this blocker Sabo is an 8K right now. So being able to potentially block, this is good. The fact that it's a 6 cost means that Zoro doesn't have a lot of immediate ways to interact with this because I think if we had Tashigi last turn, we probably would have played it, right?
Yeah, I would say so too. There's probably a world where that's more valuable than a Cavendish on curve against a deck like Sabo where you want your attacks to be big, not necessarily wide.
Yeah, but we're going to use another Perona here. If this finds a Trafalgar Law, there could be some great value. Oh, there is a Tashigi. So another interaction real quick. Tashigi rests something with a base cost of 6 or less. So even though Sabo is an 8 cost right now, because it's base cost of 6, you can rest it with the Tashigi.
Yeah, all this cost increase is more for activating your cards rather than stopping a lot of your opponent's cards. Because a lot of cards in this format say base cost, which matters.
Yeah, we're gone are the days of Rob Lucci where your current cost is the real target.
So there we see the Cavendish coming down. I'm going to go get a refund on some of the Dawn that we were spending this turn on top of the refund we got from Tashigi being able to attach to our leader. That's pretty threatening here.
Yeah, so we're going to actually 2K out of this one. There's going to be so much Dawn we can attach to this Zoro here. And yeah, we're just going to put all of it. This Zoro is currently at 11K. Yeah, just get rid of the Sabo. Activate main, attack again. And yeah, likely going to be one more here. So a lot of pressure there.
But this does get rid of the hindrance that is Sabo's, texted effect. We are now essentially a 5K leader. And we can become 6K pretty much whenever we have big cards to play. But unfortunately, we're going to 8, and normally you want to actually play an 8-drop dragon or something on curve here, and then revive back our Sabos, which will be pretty fun to see. We'll try to go for here, but I'm curious to see if there's anything else. There we see the other Sabo being added. Yet another blocker.
From PRPO2. Yeah, blocker, yep. 2K. Not too terrible of a card for us, but I think if we're at 8 Dawn, we're hopefully going to play one of these dragons.
Yeah, because we have plenty of Rev Army cards to put back, and then we have plenty of 6 cost or less characters in our trash that we want to revive back. Yep, there it is, the 8-drop dragon.
Yep, so we put 3 Revolution Army type cards to the bottom of our deck, and then we are able to play a Revolution Army card with a cost of 6 or less, which, our opponent was so kind to put that Sabo into the trash, so we're just going to play it right back out.
Oh, yes, he is back once again. Now, this will be able to give the Don to our leader, increase all of our guys and ourselves. We're not going to swinging for 7 here with this one Don attached. You always love seeing it. Attaching one Don, swinging for 7. Classic One Piece card game.
Yeah, and we're gonna attack at leader, or sorry, at Cavendish.
Hmm.
Ask for 2K. I think it might have been better to attack the leader because you know that they're gonna defend that Sabo or that Cavendish no matter what. But we're gonna pass it back to Jake.
Depends on like if you want to eat cards out of their hand or not, I guess. I think Will's just prioritizing like, I just want to get cards out of your hand. I don't care about dealing you life damage yet.
For sure. And one thing too is that, I would say most of the time, like, yeah, Tashigi on curve is kind of the better. But in this matchup, it's looking like Cavendish has been doing a lot of work. It's been getting a lot of Dawn back. It's been hard to remove. And, the first Tashigi rest would have been just the hack, which didn't get that much value otherwise. So, it's been getting a lot of value. And we're going to play another Tashigi here and get another rest for the Sabo.
Oh my goodness. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Just do the same thing we did last turn. It worked out really well.
Yeah, so one big difference about this turn, though, is that we do have another 8 cost with the dragon. So even if the Sabo gets removed, we will be able to retain our 6K leader. But, there's going to be so much pressure coming down from Zoro, I think, this turn.
And so many resources, too. We still have access to this Cavendish and 4 Dawn active in the back. That's going to be really hard for us to respond to. We are just going to take this life here as well, add to our cards in hand.
Yep. We've got 4 Dawn open. The one of the Tashigis can attack right now too, and yeah, it looks like we're gonna go what looks like 9K into our. I'm gonna assume 8K Sabo blocker right now.
This will demand a 2K at least, but we will be able to attack again, and I think that's all that Jake cares about. Also, we are threatening Luffy will be King of the Pirates event to just attack again with our leader, and having 2 9K swings at a leader that's base 7 is still pretty good.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the 2K there. I wouldn't actually even be that surprised if we just attack into leader for the rest of it. 6K is a lot harder to defend than an 8K, and Sabo's only at 2 life left.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
We
so
do
you are
see
going to play
the
Luffy's the King
Luffy.
of the Pirate here, so going to be able to restand the leader. Going to go for a 9K into. It can go to anywhere, but I'm going to guess into. Oh, it's going to be into the Sabo character again.
Okay. I mean, I respect that. Just trying to get rid of whatever threats could be on your turn because Jake does not have the most cards in hand to stop big AK swingers if we go for it. But the Tashigi will go in for 7, and that will be going into life. It will connect, and Will is now at 1.
Yep, and then one more. We're going to activate our activate main, going down to 0. This is scary business now for Will.
Last time we saw Zoro facing down someone with 0 life, it went very well for the Zoro player. So will that follow suit in this game as Will goes to 10 Dawn?
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a little bit tough for Will. We will potentially have a good amount of blockers, but we're not necessarily, Zoro's does not mind about all these blockers on the board, and looks like we're just going to find a 2K hack off the top with the stage.
So if you're Will, yeah, you're thinking to yourself, how can I limit the amount of big attacks that come through on the next turn? Because our hand is so gigantic, and our ability to increase our leader's power can maybe deal with any of the tiny attacks. Those Tashigis being 7K, we'll just ignore for now, I guess, because we can't really answer them the best this turn. But we're probably just going to attack the characters as much as possible, eat up the hand as much as we can, clear the board of as many non-leader based attacks. But unfortunately, that's something Zoro loves because if you're attacking my characters with yours, that means you have a rested character, meaning I get value out of attacking multiple times. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Will can deal with all this pressure.
Yeah, if we're able to 8-drop Garp into another Sabo blocker, that'd be, I think, pretty ideal, but I'm not sure if we have that available to us.
We definitely don't have another
And it looks
blocker.
like
We have the other 6-drop Sabo in the trash. But we're going to be playing Mars. Okay. This is pretty cool here. Going to go ahead and try to just remove that Cavendish, I guess. Or I guess the Tashigi, whichever one we're more afraid of.
Yeah, in case you guys don't know, Mars doesn't have any thing linking it to having a celestial dragon leader or anything. So being able to just get rid of a card for discarding one is actually pretty nice and still being a blocker.
Yeah, I actually really like that tech right here. And we had more than enough cards in trash, too, to turn on that blocker part of the ability. which is awesome. And now we have 9K from this dragon coming in thanks to our leader ability. We're stopping it. That means it was definitely going into Tashigi, if I had to guess, with that 3K counter being used.
I think it was 4K, and the dragon's a 10K because it does get boofed by the leader. So
I believe dragon is 8K base, and I was saying it's 9K because of the boosted from the ability. I could be incorrect in my math there, but
maybe I'm just so used to 8-drop 9K bodies.
That the red dragon, that guy, he's gigantic.
Right,
yes.
Right. All right, so we do get rid of the Cavendish with the leader attack.
That was representing a lot more Dawn that we could throw into characters and make their attacks bigger. So definitely a bit of a threat there.
And we've got 4 Dawn active.
2 blockers is definitely the number you want to have, but there's so many ways. It could be a Dead Man's Game. It could be a surprise Hody Jones. It could be another Tashigi. So many ways to rest down these blockers here.
Yeah, and if you're playing Sabo, there are the potential for a lot of defensive events. We do have like the Blackbeard Pirates one. We do have the one within the archetype, which is a 1 cost plus 4K, as long as you have an 8 costs or more on the board, which we have 2. So it's definitely there's a chance we'll be able to survive and get another turn after this.
Oh my god, I just had a thought. Do you think this is a Black Vortex Gambit? No way, right? No way.
That would be
way. Are we trying to like gotcha them with Black Vortex? That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah, in case you guys don't know what it does, so Black Vortex is a counter negate the effects of up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters and give that card minus 4K power for this turn. So not only can it use it to get out of an attack, but you can turn off the ability from Zoro from being able to restand with its activate main. So being able to get out of 2 attacks essentially for 2 Dawn against Zoro is huge.
Especially if they start with like a character attack. Like, who cares if you like counter out of that character attack? Let the guy get KO'd. I'm just going to stop you from standing up. Congrats on wasting all your Dawn for that turn.
Now, it does have to choose the same thing for both. So that means giving something minus 4K and negating its effect. So you can't give the Tashigi the minus 4K and negate the Zoro effect.
But, that's right. I was more saying like even if like 4K is not enough to stop that attack from being successful, like who cares? Like it's just enough to stop it from standing up.
Correct. It looks like we've got what looks like 6 Dawn in hand to attach to Zoro here.
That's still a lot. All right. Oh, that's 2 Dawn.
Oh, they do got it. Yeah, it's the Black Vortex.
I respect this. Okay.
This is going to be -2, so it's going to be 6 to... they must have been attacking into Dragon, actually.
Oh, and do you think it was enough to stop the attack too? Oh, that's crazy. That's so much value out of a Black Vortex. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because this was an 11K attack and Sabo leader's only 6K. So if it was into Dragon, yeah, that's like extreme max value.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Sabo feels about borrowing from, Blackbeard's power there, but if it gets the job done, it gets the job done.
100%. So right now, Zoro has 6 Dawn attached, but it's minus 4K, so it's a 7K power. You can spend the 3 to, Luffy will be king of the pirates to attack for 7K once more, but when there's an 8K blocker on the other side, don't really think it's worth it anymore.
And we're just going to pass as Jake and Will has bought themselves another turn. Black Vortex is not a card you've often seen teched in a lot of decks, but if you're playing the black color, it can just be thrown in. And against a deck like Zoro that commits all their Dawn because they want to use their powerful leader ability, you could just say like, nice try.
Yeah, so let's see what they can do with this extra turn. It's going to be tough to win because Zoro still is at that 4 life here. And the other thing is that, half the cards in our board are blockers that we're going to have to hope that they stay as blockers. So there's a chance that Koala starts attacking here just to get a little bit of pressure on the leader. But we'll see what we do with this 10 Dawn here.
Yeah, Sabo does give a power boost to everybody, so that Koala is a little easier to attack with. I definitely would love to see Will maybe establish like another blocker or 2 this turn, so we can like get some like little pokes in with like our dragon and our leader and the Koala, and then just play blockers after that. But there we see the Monkey D Garp. Sabo is once again borrowing Ace's power to go ahead and get some extra searches here of 3 cost or more cards.
Yeah, the fact that, all 3 of the brothers are red leaders means that we can get this one singular card to support all 3 of them. Really cool theming for this set.
Okay, well, there's the Sabo. Another that is the kind of thing we're hoping for Will. More big blockers.
Yeah, and we'll see what they end up doing because if we have another Monkey D Dragon here, we could potentially have done like the cycle to get that around. But we're just going to play Sabo again for 6. We can use both of their abilities, yeah, on I'm assuming themselves. So you get the +2 Dawn here, and yeah, we got a lot of momentum all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm. And Will's just going to be targeting down this Tashigi. We've seen that they are prioritizing getting rid of attacks as much as possible, eating up the hand as much as possible. So you have that Tashigi's out of here. And now if you're Jake, that Black Vortex probably sent you for a whirlwind. You're like, do I have to always play around that stupid card now if you have 2 Dawn active for the rest of the game? You might have to.
Yeah, so that was a big 8 into there. We're going to discard a Rush Dragon from our hand. Look top 3 for another Revolution Army card. It's going to be another 2K hack. We've got 3 blockers up here, and we'll have to see if Zoro is going to be able to find the way to end this game.
I mean, 2 turns with 0 life against Zoro was not on my bingo card today, but it is interesting to see. And well, now that Will has shown off some of the techs in their deck, it might not be a guaranteed thing either. Obviously, stuff like Dead Man's Game can answer 2 of these blockers, and then the Zoro leader ability could, in theory, answer another one. And so we could still represent a ton of damage that can go for game here. But I mean, is it going to be back-to-back Black Vortex? That would be so crazy.
Seeing 3 Dawn open is intimidating as well, right? So we're going to have to really try to sequence this turn correctly. But yeah, 3 blockers up is very, very scary, especially because they can turn into attackers next turn to close it out.
Right, and then that game plan that Will's been doing of starving the hand finally works out because almost all of these blockers are swinging for 7K plus.
All right, we're just going a simple 9 here. This could be blocker Black Vortex. All right, it's another Black Vortex.
Oh my goodness.
That is absurd. So since we are a base 6K leader right now, we do just get to use 1 Black Vortex to get out of it, and Jake's kind of in trouble now.
I mean, because are there any rush attackers that Zoro is known for playing? I don't think so. We could
even if we have Hody, right? Like that doesn't do anything. We don't get the activate main. Luffy will be king of the pirates, which just mean we're attacking with a 5K. It's not looking great.
Yeah, because the power reduction is for the entire turn from Black Vortex. We're just gonna be playing blockers. We're walling up as Jake. They're like, you know what? If it works for you to play blockers, I guess I can do the same thing. There we see the Kuina, who's not really gonna get any value, but it is it is a body, which is good for the program.
Yeah, and so we've got 3 life, 1 blocker up. We don't have a lot of ways to interact with blockers in this deck, except for, I guess, if we have another Mars teched in that can just get rid of it very easily. But we'll see if Will tries to go for game and the route they take to get there.
We did see them discard the red 8-drop dragon that does have rush last turn, which could mean they have another one. We are going to drop the koala here to dig for some more Rev Army cards. We see a Stussy, we see an HQ, and we see another koala. Not the best thing we could have gone, but we do have some other ways to search with the HQ and whatnot.
Were
there no targets, I guess, because koala cannot add the HQ, I guess.
Yeah, but I think can you not get the HQ? I think you can.
I'm pretty sure you can get the HQ. I could be incorrect, but I don't see a reason why you wouldn't be able to.
I just know you can't get the koala. So
yeah, exactly. Obviously, you can't get the koala. Yeah.
Okay,
well, we're just gonna use the Dawn of the leader, make himself 7, and then everybody else gets +1 if they're. And then we have 9 Dawn left over. Let's see, we could do 9, 9, 9, 11, 11, I think, pretty confidently.
Yeah, so only 3 cards in hand. Zoro doesn't normally have that much defenses in hand, too. So
in terms of counter, yeah.
So not like a immediate best way. I think the only thing is that it might have been worth it to be able to attack with that 1-drop koala later in the game.
No, I believe it was Garp. The Garp that they got rid of.
Yeah, sorry. The A1-drop.
Same thing. A little baby card. Yeah, that could have gotten in there. Oh, this is a tough. This is one of those going for game puzzles that people love in One Piece. Of like, there's probably a number or a Dawn allocation that does win you the game here, but you gotta get it just right.
Yeah, and we've got time, right? This is pretty clearly at this point, this is going to be the last turn of the game. Either Will's able to take it or will likely concede to, the power of Zoro on the other side. So making sure our numbers are correct. And we're going to start with a big 9K off of our Sabo leader.
Is it just going to be 5 9s, you think, then? Because that's kind of what this has to be then.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
looking a little bit like that. Oh, we're
whoa.
going 10. This is a big number.
This is actually 11, I think.
You're right. You're right. Yep, 11.
Man, these okay, I respect it. But this does make it. I guess we're just banking on them not getting any big counters out of the life. We're counting our trash.
Oh, we're actually okay. We're not going to go for game.
We're just gonna play a 3-drop blocker because we have more than enough cards in the trash to reduce its cost, and we're representing 2 Dawn active again. There's no way. There's no way we're gonna have a third Black Vortex, right? No way.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, I don't know. The first one was bad. The second one felt really bad. The third one might be the game. So we'll see if what Jake ends up doing. The Kuino that we played last turn though is going to be pretty scary. It means that we can essentially play like Dead Man's Game for quote unquote free. But with 4 blockers and a 6K leader with 2 cards in hand, it's going to be again pretty tricky to get through this wall that Sabo's made.
Yeah, because like the scary thing is we did give Jake like 3 extra draws essentially, and so Dead Man's Game could be right around the corner. But if you use Dead Man's Game, that's a lot of your Dawn allocation. You have to put at least 3 more on your leader, and you get Black Vortex. Okay, here we go. That's a Dead Man's Game. They're going to be getting rid of some of the Dawn as well as one of the blockers. That's still because it's 3 blockers though.
Yeah, but the Kuna here being able to refund this 3 Dawn is going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to get some 14K attacks. Or if we've got, Luffy will be king of the pirates, some really good interaction here.
Ooh, this is going to be a really tough end game here for both players.
Yeah, so I think it was pretty heads up to say, you know what? I think Black Vortex will be pretty tough for me. I'm going to rest 1 Dawn and 1 copy of the blocker. If you were feeling like they didn't have a third one, you could definitely just rest 2 blockers as well and just hope they don't. But this middle of the road can be the difference between victory and defeat.
Mm-hmm. And I can't believe I didn't even have the pseudo 3-cost blocker Sabo on my radar. But yeah, we had a ton of cards in trash. And so this could also be like a pretty big play for Will to like keep them alive this turn.
Yeah, so this is going to be an 8 to a 6K leader right here. We're going to block with the Mars and just get out of it. So they're going to, for 3, play the Luffy will be king of the pirates. Oh, are we doing 4 8K attacks this turn?
Do we have another Luffy? That'd be crazy. The power of the event cards in this match, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, okay. We're going to get the effect there. We're going to block there. 2 blockers down.
This is the moment where commentary is really hard because like I'm in suspense so hard. There is another Luffy. Okay.
All right, we that they are probably holding on the one. These Black Vortexes were pretty nasty earlier. This is going to be an 8 into a 6K leader right now. And
do we have a 2K and a 1K?
Yeah, we need 2K, 1K, or we will just lose here because we still have the activate main from leader from Zoro.
I really respect this play from Jake here. It's got to be 2 specific cards, or maybe a 1-cost event that I'm not thinking of. Maybe the Rev Army one with I think it's called like hair removal fist or something. That could be pretty big, but if we had it, we'd slam it down and by now because it would win us the game.
Yeah, and thinking of these 2 cards again, this is an 8K into a 6K leader. We've got an 8K blocker, and we're just going to block and let it go. Using the leader effects from Zoro, 1 more attack to try to go for game here, and got the double 2Ks off the hacks that we saw earlier, and I think Will's gonna have a real good chance to win on this crackback.
Yep, we got 3 attacks, all of which can be gigantic versus a 3-card hand from Jake. Only 1 blocker to deal with. This could be lining up perfect. It might come down to every single card Will has used in this game, but it's exactly how he drew it up.
Yeah, so best case for Zoro is that we've got a 3 2Ks, so that means an 11K out, but 8-drop dragon. That's So good here.
This is a very old card here, but it's an 8-drop with 9K rush, and when it's played, it gives 2 Dawn to anybody. It's a Mega
And then
Brook.
you now have tap Dawn that you can give with Sabo. So you got a 9K attack from both these Garps. You've got a 9K leader. You got a 10K from the rush one you just played. This is going to be pretty tough to get out of.
All right, so 9K with the first dragon connects. We're now going to swing 9K with the leader.
10K
10
with
with another dragon.
And Will ends up taking it, getting a full sweep from San Francisco, going 3-0 against Cincinnati.
Wow, that is beautiful to see. What a way to earn your spot in the finals. Y'all must be feeling good. The first match in OP13, y'all faced the 3 boogeymen, Ace, Zoro, and Emu, and y'all all came out on top. That is quite the sight to see. Congratulations.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, both of us before this were like, all right, there are 3 good decks in this format right now, clearly, and you get to choose at least 3 decks. So it was the obvious choice, but being able to know how the decks work, how to counteract that, we saw like Black Vortex do a lot of work. I think San Francisco spent a lot of time testing before this, and it really showed.
Yeah, and those Black Vortexes, like, I know it's a card I've seen teched in some black decks, but it was never on my radar, really. And I was like, how is Will playing this game? How can they think going to 0 life is safe? It's because they were like, it's because I can stop 2 attacks every turn for free.
Yeah, you just have so much defensive prowess with this Sabo deck. The fact that you are a 5-life double color leader is also really important. And, if you haven't played Sabo before, they do have all these tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah, that's beautiful to see. Well, that just about does it. We now know who's going to be meeting Brooklyn in the finals. Big, again, congratulations to San Fran and, of course, to Cincinnati for making it this far. Y'all were amazing players to even get to this position, so be sure to keep up the good work as the rest of the format goes underway. But, Hayden, before we leave, is there anything you want to say?
No, this is a lot of fun. I appreciate being a part of this, and also for the One Piece card game for hosting these events. And I don't know if you guys have checked out any of their official stores. This is the official store tournament, so if there's any near you, I highly recommend checking them out. They've got a lot of local events. They've got a lot of product there, and it's really cool to see these pop up. The first couple, easy, but we've got 8+ stores around North America now. Really, really cool to see.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And if y'all enjoying these streams and want to see more like them in the future, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the Play Bandai Card Games channel so you can see more like it in the future.
Yep, so we will have our finals. It's going to be 3 weeks just due to American holidays out here too, but we'll see the finals there. Brooklyn versus San Francisco, OP13. We'll see what they have there, and really excited to see. But yeah, Brooklyn was able to beat the Chicago team 2 weeks ago, and then we did, again, just see San Francisco get the win over Cincinnati.
Good old East Coast versus West Coast fused to close out the official Pirates League Shop Edition. That's going to be super fun to see. Cannot wait.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to be it for this broadcast. Thank you guys again. We really do appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't on the channel here. There's going to be a lot more One Piece content in the future as well. And for Steven and I, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you all next time. Bye.
See ya. Yeah, I can hear you. Are we muted?